backdrop of how we have evolved over the years. Tim and I coached Tim back in 2000. I was the quarterbacks coach and D coordinator for Scott Rice at McFarland. And before that, I was an assistant under Al Minert from 93 to 2000 while I was going to college, just getting started teaching at Edgewood High School. So kind of up to that point, and being an assistant for 15 years, I always kind of wondered, once we kind of have our own program, because once Tim got done playing, I knew that this was a young man that saw the game. And said, if I ever get my own program, I'd like to bring you on board and be the offensive coordinator. So when I eventually got the head job at Monona Grove in 2008, and I was able to first talk his wife into joining the staff, because that's who we always got to convince, right? So you weren't coaching for that 2007 season. So we kind of knew where we wanted to get to with an offensive system, but we had always been, with Scott and with Al, we'd always been a gap and a man team, and that was it. And kind of as a D coordinator, as I was a D coordinator, and we were at Watertown, two offenses that were just an absolute, it's just tough to stop, is you got the option teams, and we saw Wisconsin Lutheran every year, and they were split back beer, and then we'd go against West Bend East, and at the time they were spread, and they had it was Mike Leach style offense with the huge splits, and they ran some zone and got the quarterback involved. But as a D coordinator, the thing that's always tough is that once the quarterback is involved in the run game, and now we're seeing it all over. We've been seeing it for a number of years, but in Wisconsin, we still haven't seen. We see a little bit here and there, but even the spread teams and no huddle teams, it's still a lot of gap. And so in 2008, we decided that if we're going to start something, instead of kind of like easing into it and be, because at Monona Grove, they had always been a gap team and high back under center team. And so we said, hey, we're going full bore. We're going to be inside zone and outside zone, and that's it. And we were under center that first year up until about, midway through the season. And we went, yeah. Then we started going to the gun. We were still a huddle team, and we had to convince our kids that because they've had some success, but they had never won a playoff game. But even though they had never won a playoff game, they still were fighting the fact that we were just going to stay zone. And you had the whole mentality that it was finesse. So back in 2008, we had our offensive line, and I've been coaching for 24 years. I've been coaching O-line for 20 years. Our offensive line in 2008 until about 2010 were all guys about my size. So that was also part of the reason why we felt we could have more success with zone, because if you're a gap, now you got to get the double team and all the way back, and you got to have guys that can move people. Well, with zone when we first got going, is that we would maximize our splits, and they were basically, we just wanted a hat on a hat, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't always, we weren't mashing people, but we were getting the job done. And then in 2009 is when we decided that we're going to go no huddle. And that's kind of where, so since 2009, the offense that we have now is not exactly what it was in 2009, because every year that we've tweaked it, but that's kind of where we got our start. And Tim's put the stats up here, and I'll let Tim talk a little bit about the stats, but the reason the stats are not to show you, look how impressive the stats are, it's to show you that the balance that we have, and we've done it every year, because we get asked, our quarterback, we don't have the quarterback. Yeah, you do. You just make it fit. We've had years where a quarterback, we'll lock the backside and we're not reading it. He can't run. In 2012, when we made it to the semifinals, it was with a kid that never ran the football but could sling it. And we had a back that was I think he ran for like 2,400 yards. So, and then we've had, if you remember the name Max Myler at all, that he was our quarterback for 3 years, sophomore through senior, and now he's playing quarterback in Lindenwood. Now, he was a true dual threat, probably a better runner than passer, but still was very good at throwing the ball. Now this year at Monona Grove, we got a kid that's a junior that not only can sling it, but he's like a legit 4-5 kid. So we've had them all, but if you want to...
Yeah, going back to 2011, first year we really went fast up tempo, and we are, since 2011, we've been, as soon as the ball is placed down, we're going as fast as we can. And that's when we really kind of took the next step on offense. And in 2011, I mean, again, Coach, you just talked about, we had a quarterback that was really a running back. Obviously, he didn't throw for a lot of yards. Then the next year, Coach was just talking about it, had a kid who threw it but couldn't run it. And then after that, kind of got on the street where you get kind of the dual threat, which is obviously ideal, but we've been able to do it with all different types of players. So, and nothing has changed. We've been running the same scheme up front ever since.
And our whole philosophy offensively starts with, we're going to take what the defense gives you. And that sounds so simple, but we will read absolutely everyone on defense. We'll read a D tackle at times, we'll read a D end, we'll read an inside backer, we'll read an outside backer, we'll read a safety. So we will read absolutely everyone depending on the play. But our main philosophy is we are going to be downhill and downfield. So downhill run game, downfield throw game. And the misnomer of spread teams, no huddles, it's finesse, it's basketball on grass. You know, that's bullshit. I mean, we make sure that the kids know that we are physically going to maul and get after you. We are inside zone, and it is downhill. We're not looking to stretch. So with our, I was listening to Coach earlier, our tailback is taught that if it's inside zone, he's going to go ahead and read the outside cheek away from the center. And it's downhill. It's an A-gap run. And we count. Everything that we did do in the run game came from the University of Oregon. If you can get Steve Greatwood's DVD, and if you're going to run any zone, Steve Greatwood is excellent, and we just basically stole everything the University of Oregon was doing in the run game when Chip Kelly was there, and then kind of added a little bit of Baylor philosophy to it as well. But day one, so when Coach Beckwith, this was Coach Beckwith's second year, the year before had a stud running back named Torrin Young, and now he's playing at the University of Iowa. They're an I-back gap team. And so I was fortunate to come on board, and the offensive line we had this year was 5 seniors, and they started all 14 games except one. I think it was week 8 against Edgewood. Our right guard had a sprained ankle, so we were very fortunate. But we averaged like 6'2", 220. But these guys, I mean, they fit the mentality of being downhill physical, and so that wasn't hard. But we count, to go back with the University of Oregon, we used to go, everything was just covered on covered, and then came across the article. Now everyone has seen the count, and Tim can draw it up. But so the low gap, A gap defender is who we identify as 0. Center is responsible. That's your main responsibility is 0. Then the play side guard has 1, play side tackle is 2, and tight end to that side, then he's working at 3. And then backside, we don't say -1, but just for purposes of and you can call it -1, we don't. You've seen it, I'm sure, but you got 1, 2, and the backside is our, in this case, our backside, we're reading the backside DM. I mean, that really is that's our starting point. So we're a 4-3 defense, and when we install our offense in our inside zone, and the other thing that with our O-line, our guards and tackles are going to be as deep as they possibly can be. And at times, coaches, you can hear coaches on the other sideline saying they don't have enough men on. We're going to take as much as we can. So if defenses are stunting or twisting or blitzing, it allows us time to react. And we've done it with like 3-foot splits. We've done it in 2012 was the biggest O-line that I've ever coached. We averaged 6'4", 265 pounds across the board. And we made it to the semifinals, and we show up and we thought we were big, and then Captain Memorial showed up and said, no, you're not. And they were that year like 6'5", 285, and I'm not kidding. That's a they made us look tiny. But that year we had 18-inch splits, and we had a back that was like my size, but had just huge thighs and was a bowling ball, and we just mashed people up front and ran downhill. So, but our starting point is 2-foot splits, and everything is like, and then we call them, and we distill this from Oregon. Depending on the play, and depending on who we're reading, we use smart splits. So at times on the backside, if that backside tackle, if you want, if he can go ahead and cheat and wind that backside tackle to wind that read so the QB gets a little bit longer to read that, then we'll go ahead and do that as well. And then, that is what we hang our hat on, and also we tell our guys, if we just get a hat, now we want to be physical, but the big thing is our back is going to bring the backers to us, but we want a hat on a hat mentality. So in this year, inside zone, I think we were just talking, we had 89% of our runs.
Basically, yeah, 89% of our runs this year was zone based. This stat on here is just inside zone right here. We're reading DN. We ran that many times with the RPO attached to it, whether it was a bubble screen, screen up to number 1 or number 2. And you can just kind of see going through the pass game. The reason why we do it, easy throws, right? Obviously, easy completion, high percentage. We had a lot of completions for 7 yards per attempt. We talk about attempt rather than per completion, because you're going to have 0-yard gain. 7-yard complete or 7-yard attempt is a 7-yard rush average. So when we're looking at it that way, we obviously have 10 incompletions, but those are 10 0-yard run plays. So 7 yards carry, 6 yards carry, basically is the way we look at it. So we're getting positive yards on easy throws. Obviously, with the different RPOs that we use, it allows us to control the box, get less guys in the box with whether it's a safety or outside back where we can control that, gets us out of bad plays, and lastly, we get the chalk last. So no matter what the D is doing, we have the answer to whatever they're doing, where we're going to be successful on each run play with an RPO attached to it. Okay, just kind of a little breakdown of practice. This year we went back, going to MG, we were 1 platoon. The 2 previous years before that we were 2 platoon, and before that we were 1 platoon. So our practices, obviously from going from 2 platoon to 1 platoon, things got scaled back. So the way we practice, and basically going through how we practice to get to where we're at with RPOs, I'll just show, the routes on air, we're going there, and then the key drill is the actual drill that we're practicing our bubble screen, our screen number 1, all that whole deal. Typically that's between 10 to 15 minutes per practice. You can see the amount of time, there's not a lot of we don't spend a lot of time with team practice. It's most of the time it's group focused, all right? Okay, so first clip we'll have up, this is just a base drawing of like what key drill would look for us. So O-line is in Indy O-line. Coach is working on all the technique stuff and also going through fronts. So when we're working together with all the skill guys, we have obviously guys on defense are just lined up in that defense of the week, whoever we're facing. And I'll be standing behind the quarterback and moving pieces, whether it's the will if we want to widen them out, okay, or make the play tighter, pre-snap, and we got multiple groups going. So our first offense would be up, second offense would be behind, ready to go. So defense will stay put, they're lined up, and then quarterback is going to know pre-snap. So pre-snap, we're going to look like this. We got safety off, say he's off 10 yards. Okay, to us that's 3-on-2 math. We like our odds. We're going to catch the snap and throw it immediately. Okay, if we get safety walk down, it's 3-on-3. They're playing tight. We're probably not going to throw it. So then our next week we go to the run game. Okay, and then So we're doing this in practice. We're just reading the end. Okay, we'll run from there. And the last part of it would be the post snap with the attached bubble. Obviously, if we're, let's say safety's down, okay, we got 3-on-3, DN crashes, forces us to pull it, QB pulls it, and then he's got the option obviously to run it or throw the bubble, depending on what, say that Will would do, if he's going to leave this Z uncovered or if he's going to run with them. Okay? Here's just another same deal. Now it's a split side run. We got a bubble on one side, we got an arrow attached on the back side. Okay, same thing, concept going here. We have this up, we're pre-snap. Again, we're always looking to throw first. Pre-snap, we want to take the easy 3-on-2 if we got it. Okay, so we're looking. It's open, we'll throw it. If not, then it comes back to our post-snap read, which is DN. So we got our DN there. Quarterback's going to read it. Okay, he widens with the arrow. It's easy give. If he squeezes down, then it just becomes pull. Right, and then the quarterback can pull it. And again, same with just talking about the bubble. You can pull it, keep it, or if, say, Sam plays QB, then he can go ahead and throw it out to the arrow, and it's one-on-one. All right, so here's the first clip. This is week 2. Week 2, we're in split side, inside zone. Okay, pre-snap. You got 3 for 3 out there. Quarterback doesn't like it. Guys are right around 8 to 10 yards. Okay, this isn't our ideal spacing. This is again week 2. Ideally, we'd like our number 2 receiver split a little wider. We want to stretch the field obviously horizontally. Our base alignments for our receivers are outside guys are 5 yards from the sideline. Inside guy is 6 yards from the tackle, and then the number 2 receiver would split the difference. Just on base alignment. For whatever reason, he lined up a little tighter than normal. And he doesn't do his job, you see on this play. This is pre-snap, he knows we're running it. Okay, so it's just run. Receivers don't know the difference. They're going to do their job, and our receiver here should be blocking most dangerous man. All right, so he should be coming off the line, slow, reading whichever safety's going to run the bubble.
Because this was completely new for these guys at beginning of the year, we didn't really feel like we didn't get in maximizing our tempo and being aligned, as you can see correctly, until when we say week 6, I think it was against Stoughton, where you could kind of see everything kind of click at that point. And we really felt like it was going to take off. And all the years of coaching, when Tim and I got there, we were fortunate enough to be able to coach in the All-Star game in 2013. We said to Coach Beck, this like day 1 when we coached, I'm like, this feels like an All-Star week. We had 33 seniors this year, and so, and the reason I tell you that is we felt like we had the talent, but they didn't really feel like they were kind of. And I heard Coach talk about, we always tell our kids play without thinking, and they were thinking a lot up until that point. So all the way until week 6. We were doing a lot of thinking, and so it took a while to get things rolling. But and as you can see, this is inside zone to the left, like Tim was saying, split side. If you watch our play side guard or left guard, he should have his eyes he shouldn't even be given a hand. He's working. He should be taking a step from the left, and he's going to tempo it to the second level. Now that was probably our biggest kid. He's also the ones that we really had to work on bending. As you can see, he's way too tall. He was way too fast to the second level. Because the back will bring the backers to you. So we want to tempo it. And hopefully as the clips roll on, we get it, and you see as the weeks progress, you'll see that things get a little bit tighter, a little bit better.
Okay, here's a different look. We got a 3-14. They're playing cover 1. Looks like a 4-2 box right now. Just walked out their outside backer. Again, pre-snap, got man coverage. It's too close to throw a bubble. We don't like it throwing this when the DBs are this close, so it just becomes a post-snap reading to the end. Obviously, again, what else we like with the zone, with the bubble, is getting rid of defenders. You have to man up, we're pulling them out of the box, one less guy to block.
And the other thing, if you watch our QB, so you want to make sure when we go, the mesh is hip to hip. So for the QB, it's hip to hip, and we were just meeting with a staff last week that was asking some questions. And how does the running back know? You've heard, like, you feel the back of the hand. We run it every day, and it just becomes a feel. But you want to go make sure it's hip to hip, so you do get used. I mean, that's selling it. And then the other thing that Alec, our QB, and he got better as you wore on too, is make sure that you're accelerating out of the mesh, and it becomes a natural block then. In years past, we'd have quarterbacks just hand it and stand. Well, that worked pretty easy for the D end, not knowing that QB doesn't have it. So, what's the point then? So make sure if you're going to run, if you're going to get a gun and you're running inside zone, you really have to coach up, accelerating out of the mesh. And with inside zone, with what we do, we can push the count. So we can go ahead and push. If you're looking up on the board that Tim has drawn there, if we're running inside zone to the right, we can designate who 0 is. And we can push it all the way to the 3 technique, it can become 0, and then the angles change, and it becomes, it almost looks more gap, and we just call it our mash technique. And with our RPOs, we will push the count often, and that's the whole point that as we got better in understanding the whole inside zone run game, is that we realized we want to maximize our double teams. That's it. That's what we're trying to do. Now, if you got little dudes, in past, we would go, like I said, with Leach's approach and went wide splits, and it became just man blocks, and we were like little pit bulls and just hanging on. But but now we feel like we have a little bit better understanding. We're just, no matter what front we see, we want to maximize the double teams, and so we will push the count and be able to do that. So if you go ahead, you'll see our center does a great job with his eyes and coming off, because that backer's coming, and that's our center. This was the fastest center that we had. He's a rugby player. He's tough as hell. And this was week 6, right?
Yeah.
So, and our backside guard, our right guard, he was a kid that played right on that line. Sometimes a little, sometimes crossing, but he was nasty. And he would stay on contact until the very end, and maybe got away with a little hold there.
Again, with what Coach was talking about, the quarterback, he does a good job initially. That one step holds him. Ideally, we'd like him to continue to carry that out. But just that one little step did help hold that in just for that split second, just for our back to go ahead and make an arm tackle miss.
The next clip, so what teams do, what do they do on the backside then? They scrape exchange. And so if we see a team that is scrape exchange team, and why we call it an 18-inch cutoff, because I heard it from University of Oregon. So if you start to see pre-snap, and here we go with a long count, we're going our check tempo, the DN rocks, and so we get a sneak peek, we get a preview that DN's rocking into that B gap, and the Will's coming around. So the backside tackle is responsible, he's your sifter. So he's got to cut off the B gap, and we told him all week, they will do this, and if we see it, we're gonna hit a home run, and we did. 55-yard touchdown, and then you feel pretty smart as a coach, and kids are coming over the sideline, and say, hey, well, you told us. Yep. Didn't really think that we're going to hit the home run, but our kid on the backside here did a great job seeing it, and then there's no one left. There's no one left for cutback, as you'll see.
Here we got double bubble on both sides. Again, we're controlling the safeties here, our outside backer. By widening them, they're playing man coverage. Obviously, you can control and get less guys in the box to tackle.
So right now, that was the DN kind of rocks our backside tackle. does a great job cutting them off, goes around, and our little guy can scoop.
For the quarterback, when we get straight for change, he's not necessarily reading the end, he's reading the area. So he's reading the C-gap player, they exchange gaps, that's an easy gift read for him.
And we work at times, the beauty of also just being a zone team is that it's all the same for everyone. So tight end, you know, he's covered, tackles I'm covered. Now, so what we work is, we just call pods, and I'm sure we all do it, but it's just 2-on-2, and we give them every look that they're gonna see that week. And it's just getting that feel when to come off, and we always take care of first level first. We want 4 hands on first level, 4 eyes on second level. And that was the biggest thing to get guys to understand a zone double team versus a gap double team. And we kept early, like in the first 2 weeks, they wanted to turn their shoulders back instead of working to the play side and coming off. But then once we got things rolling, it's just became a natural feel. And you guys did a nice job picking it up.
And just going kind of back off, talking about the screen exchange, when we're working our inside run drill, you know, I'm standing behind the quarterback, again, same kind of deal, and we are moving pieces on the D, because obviously our kids aren't going to learn all the blitzes during the week. During playoffs we get some extra time, kids learn the blitzes, but we're back here and we literally are pointing out to the kids where they're moving. So if we got a slant on, we'll move the kids and the scrape exchange. It's just a great way to stand behind the O-line and move kids and get them to where you want them to go. Because if you don't tell them to move, they're just going to probably stand there and everything looks really good. Okay, here's an open set. Now we're still playing against a man team. We got 4-3 box. Obviously not ideal to run against. So we got 3 out there, 3-on-3, but the difference on this clip is you got a safety who's playing off. Okay, so right now we have space, we feel it, it's 3-on-2, we'll go ahead and catch it and throw it. Also what we do on the backside here, on our solo side, anytime we got a soloed up receiver, he's got a hitch route that the quarterback's looking at first. So right now, for whatever reason he didn't like it, usually tell him if the corner's playing off, you got space, and there's no overhang fender, you're going to catch and throw. You go ahead and just catch and throw that hitch. Well, I do like the bubble, a little better player over on that side, so he went that route. Again, what we're telling our number 2 receiver here is most dangerous man. So right now he does a great job coming slow off the line of scrimmage to go ahead and block whoever's going to run the bubble. So in this case it's the backside safety, the safety who's manned up on number 3. Sometimes they switch it out, and number 2 is running the bubble, and they switch it off. So he does a great job there. Then we're always sending our number 1 receiver to the corner. Just kind of end zone look. Just kind of see that there's a lot more space. And I think that's one of the things we do really well is space the field. Just to maximize one-on-ones. We want as much space for our kids to operate in a one-on-one situation.
Is your back when you're throwing a ball here?
Yep. So anytime there's a pre-snap, predetermined quarterback, will let him know that, hey, I'm throwing it. Okay. Otherwise, if he didn't say anything, they go ahead and mesh, and then it might be a pull throw later.
And if you watch our center, he was a guy that was so fast we had to slow him down. So this was week 2 on contact. His feet come together. As the season progressed, we really worked on just widen your base. We start with what we say a jumper stance. So if you're going to jump and go get a rebound, that's where your feet should stay in that path the entire time. And you're just watching him right here. He's falling off because a lot of times if you are covered, it's gonna be a solo block. And listen to Coach from Mankato State. I liked what he had to say about by the 3rd step he's going to turn. But we were just saying, well, do we want to tell our kids that? Because you know what will happen. I'm just always going to turn, and then the guy is going to rock inside. So I think that's something that we'll probably add. but we're gonna probably not add that until like maybe our third or fourth week, once they know that that's like a last resort, I'm gonna turn. Because in our outside zone, that's what we do. You know, by the third step, you're gonna go ahead, if you can't reach him, and we always talk thick versus thin. We wanna be thick on a cover dude when it's inside zone. We wanna be thin on an outside zone run. And we always work, and we just do the one, and if we're running outside zone, we'll put the one-on-one, we'll really make that guy work. And we always say our first step, we don't ever talk steps. We got back in 1993 when I started with Al, everything was, you had a lead step, you had a 45 step, you had a bucket step. We got from the University of Arizona, one of our buddies was a GA there, I think it was Sonny Dykes, that just would tell the whole line, it's width and depth. Whatever your job is, you just gotta make sure your first step, you're getting enough width and depth that your hat can cover up that play side. I thought, you know what, that's pretty good shit. So, you know, we don't have to have 14,000 different terms. Let's just, hey, if we're running, if I'm a guard and here's a three technique, if he's tight, my first step, I should now cover him up. My second step is gonna go right through his crotch. And then we're gonna go ahead and climb and stay on that path. If it's outside zone, now my second step should be covering up his outside foot. So I gotta get enough depth and width to get there. So that's all we ever talk about our steps, is just depth and width. Did I take a snooze on us?
Before the laptop, I wasn't. Should be following that.
So, and for, I think we were talking, Marty Costello, I think he's now in Canadian Football League. He was up at, where was he, Clef? Where was he? He was at Stevens Point. So, when we were talking to him, because he looked at our offensive line, he goes, hey, just talk me through your steps. He goes, I would never do that. We always, and I said, well, that's good for you, but we got different kids than you have. So not all of our kids are great at moving. So we always start day one just working first step, second step, and then pound, 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 and we work our, you know, we work a ton on boards. But he's like, you guys are very like tall. And I said, well, because they come off the ball and they're like flying off the ball watching his, well, but I'm like, you gotta remember, our dudes aren't always that athletic, so we have to give them a frame of reference, somewhere to start. And if you've never been a zone team, you can't just go, hey, just go fly off and go get them. I mean, so, because you're gonna have guys falling off, just like our center did in the last snap. So we do work a ton on steps.
Do you guys do anything in terms of wrong stepping? If you know you have a double coming, or is it always, if it's inside zone right, your first step is your right foot?
We're always, and that's the thing, is like our center in week 2 versus Wanakee is going the wrong direction. And like, hey, bud, you know, we do some pin and pull and we'll do some solo blocks, but our center, 100% of the time, is always gonna step play side. Always. Now, for the most part, in our base, yes, we're always stepping. We should, if we're running inside zone left, we should all be taking a step with our left foot. Yep. And then if we have if we got a 2-eye, instead of punching, and this came from Steve Graywood too, and the stuff works, is if I got a 2-eye, my center's here, and I got to work there to the stack backer. We don't punch, we use a flipper. And so the first step is a 6-inch step, and our elbows go right here, never too far back to expose. And then our second step, we're going to unleash and uncork the hips with a flipper because it maximizes surface area. When you go ahead and punch, you have a tendency to punch and avoid. And then you got a dude splitting the double team and he's in the lap of your quarterback or running back.
All right, this up here, we got 4-3, you know, playing cover 4 and cover 3 against us. Right now, again, safety's rolled down, got a cover 3 look. 1 3-on-2 out here on the outside. Outside backer is in the box. So easy read for the quarterback. It's going to be a catch and throw. What we tell our bubble guys is just open, just tell our, and all our receivers always have inside foot up, so if I'm running bubble, I'm here, I'm just gonna turn open, flat down my third step, I gotta be looking by my third step. And we wanna catch the thing as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. Sometimes, like in this case, this was earlier in the year, our receiver's too deep. You can kind of see how deep our O-line is, and sometimes that happens. They see the O-line off, then they get back off farther than they need to be. Ideally, he should be 1 yard off the line of scrimmage. Right now, he's like 4. And for our receivers, we just want to be pests. Tell them slow off the line, stock blocking, and just get on. We don't tell them, hey, we got to get the thing to the sideline. We just want, go ahead, square him up, take him where he wants to go, and let the receiver go ahead and go where he needs to. Here's another bubble set. We have now our receivers in the backfield. He's gonna, we call it jump motion. He's gonna motion, give us the same look. And it's earlier against that same team that was playing cover 1 against us and wasn't allowing us to throw bubbles. So we go ahead and put it in the backfield. He goes ahead and can motion. Now we got a chance to throw a bubble because they don't have 3 for 3 at the line of scrimmage. It gives us a chance to get our playmakers ball. We go ahead and just run. Again, same thing for quarterback. This is all he's reading, the same thing we did pre-snap on the other snaps. He's just looking at a 3 on 2. No one's running out there to guard him, so that's easy for him. Go ahead, catch it, throw it. The back knows too at this point, hey, no one's running with them, I know I'm not getting the ball. We work this again, same that key drill. We work all our RPOs, just go ahead, all the scenarios that can happen. No one's running, the back knows he's not getting it. If someone runs, if that backer flies out, say this inside backer flies out for whatever reason, or the safety drops down, he knows right now we're going to go ahead and run the football. Just catch it around and get, I mean, all we're looking for anytime we're throwing these is 5 yards. Here's a case where we've got the odd front, so the 0's the nose. We're actually cutting off the backside the end. Okay, just based on the count. Because there is no outside backer out there. Okay, another play that we run a ton is this is an arrow concept. Same thing as bubble, the only difference is now we're running it to our tight end rather than a third receiver. So again, none of the jobs change. Okay, our X in this case is going to be slow off the line. Again, he's getting black most dangerous man. Okay? And then again to the solo side, we've got the hitch. We'll take it if we can get it. Same thing here again. We do it against all different fronts. So this is against a 3-4 team that we're against. Same deal. I just drew the slow. I mean, he's literally blocking the X. He's blocking Sam or the rover, whoever is running to arrow. In most cases, it's usually the outside backer with the safety playing off. Okay, so here we got a 3-4 team playing cover 2 against us. And we can pre-snap throw this, or we can post-snap throw it. It all depends on what the defense is doing. And what we do is we go ahead and we got to know where your key is on D. So if your outside backer has got his eyes on the whole line, okay, then it's an easy catch and throw. Okay, if he's got his eyes on the tight end, which he does in this case, now it's not a guarantee that he's playing run. So he goes ahead and widens with the tight end. Okay, here's end zone clip of it.
Then this is where we're going to go ahead and push the count, and we're leaving the end. We worked all week with avoiding. That's the other thing is if your tackle, and I think maybe even the following clip, it'll show our tackle kind of gets a chunk of that read. You always want to make sure that you're getting a clean release, and you're watching our backside tackle. He's ripping inside. You want to make sure you're giving a clear read for the QB. So you can widen and then go ahead and avoid. He does a nice job working the second level to get to the backer.
Tim, is pre-snap going, knowing that he's not throwing the pass? he's gonna basically read from second level to first. Because he
Well,
needs
so-
the linebacker first, tell him it's not.
Pre-snap.
Yeah.
So pre-snap, he knows right now that tight end is reading the outside backer is reading the tight end, so he knows right now we gotta run it because this kid is gonna run with the arrow. If he had his eyes inside, which I think there's a clip later, where the outside backer's reading, say, the tackle, now he can throw it because he knows right now he's getting a run read from the backer. Okay? And what we tell our quarterback is pretty simple. We don't say anything about square shoulders or squeezing down the line. It's literally, is he going to tackle the running back or not? So if that DN's going to tackle the running back, we're going to pull the ball. Otherwise, we want to give the ball. And that's just the way we're built up front. We want to run the thing downhill. We want to give it to our back. You can see the space it creates just by widening the DN or the outside backer. Same clip again here, outside back, he's got his eyes on the tight end, wide first step. And our receivers again know based on, and this is happened in games, sometimes they will go ahead and block that outside back right away, but then as the game goes, you just talk to them and say, hey, we don't even need to block this kid, let's go right to the safety. This happens a lot too when you get to second level. Guys don't make blocks because they're breaking down and then pieces move. Okay, same left going another way. You can see our tight end get lazy at times, knowing that he's not getting the ball. We'd like to play with a little more speed to threaten that outside backer and make sure he can't make a play.
And again, really, when you're pushing the count, it really becomes a gap block. But we don't ever talk gap. We just tell the kids this is our mash technique. So that's what you see out there. And here's the other beauty of the count is that, especially with Homestead, if you know anything about Homestead or been able to see them the last couple of years on D, they'll have a different look every snap. You don't know where the linebackers are going to be. So in years past, we'd say, okay, this week you're going to get an underfront. So we're going to work against an underfront all week. We're going to get an overfront. With the count, it doesn't matter what front because it's just all about math and knowing who 0 is, 1 is, and 2 is. I see Steve here and from Baraboo, they are a pain to go against defensively because they move a lot and always gives us issues. So, but the beauty of the count is that it doesn't matter. The kids don't have it locked in their head that this is what they're going to see. And when we first started this, we would see a jumped up defense every week back in 2009, 2010, and Wanakee made us look foolish when we were check tempo because they would give us one look pre-snap and then post-snap. And we had Pat Rice's cousin who was on our staff as D coordinator, and he goes, they just made us look like idiots. This check tempo is stupid. And I'm like, thanks, Andy. Yeah. So, if you know Andy Rice, he's pretty blunt. So, but he was right. It did make us look stupid. That's why we go fast tempo. Everything. So we don't have defenses bouncing around because if they do bounce around, they're going to get hurt. And so that's where you do see more vanilla looks. So that's the other advantage of the count and fast tempo.
Okay, so here again, we got 3 receivers this side, we're running bubble on this side, we got an arrow on the solo side. Again, pre-snap, we got safety walk down, 3 for 3 here, not ideal to run bubble. Okay, so then it becomes a post-snap, read to the end, to the outside backer, based on what happens with the tight end read. Okay, in this case, we'll see from that zone, but they sent 2 guys off the edge. It's actually their inside backer. So, and like Coach was just talking, every snap is literally different. So right now, this is their inside backers over here on the outside. Then they just slid this inside backer over. Okay, and then this is actually the corner, and then they got DN outside too. So again, our old line is just based on the count because we're pushing it over. They're all working again, play side to the left. We actually have 2 guys unblocked on the outside, but with the arrow, if goes ahead and helps hold that edge to give us a chance to hand the thing off. And essentially block 3 guys with 1 without even having to block. And then a nice cutback lane, obviously, with the soft edge over there. Okay, here we go. Here's now we got double tight for 12 personnel. Tight end to this side is running the arrow. Okay, and here's a clip where we're talking about getting that outside backer. So right now, pre-snap, it looks like 3-on-3. Okay, because you got this outside backer who's right stacked on the tight end. But his eyes are inside, either in the backfield or on the offensive line. Okay, so then our quarterback knows right away he's going to catch and throw. And we got him all leveraged because of where his eyes are. You can see it here in that zone. And the reason why I do this is because if that's, again, that outside backer has got his eyes on the tight end, now we can go ahead and run the thing, and now there's no cutback player because he's going to wide with the tight end right away. Which looks like a nice hole there, but if we did give it, because of what he's looking at, he would be able to fold in and make the play. This is a great way to control those outside backers. Here we go, here's same deal again. This is right, again, talking about the up-tempo. We had just run this exact same play, I believe, and then we had thrown it up top to our solo receiver on the hitch, got the first down, and then come right back again, and we run the same play again. Got the ball going somewhere else, and they brought their outside backer, who's over here now, to go ahead and discourage that hitch. Okay? And then obviously it opens the void to the solo side, so right now we got 3-on-2, no one's on tight end. So it's an easy catch and throw for the quarterback. Not a great job blocking on the perimeter, but nonetheless it's a 7-yard gain. Okay, here we go is another look, number 1 screen number 1, now screen or smoke screen, whatever you guys call it. Again, same rules apply as well, it just changes. So our inside guy is going to go to the corner, or excuse me, our middle guy is going to go to the corner, and our inside receiver is going to block the most dangerous. Again, the beauty of running zone read, you can run it either way. It doesn't matter if there's tight side, split side, and the beauty is we get to control who we want to control based on the defensive look. So right now, playing Waukesha West 3-4 team. I believe this is in the second half, so they had widened out their outside backer a little bit to the top side, wider than normal. And then they had always set their front to the field. So we knew that going in. Again, going back to our philosophy again, double teams gives us maximum double teams by where they set their front. It's only a 4-yard gain because the DN go ahead and make the play, but he is not playing it fast, so it's a give read for the quarterback. Right now, the quarterback decided because the safety came down, it's 3-on-3, he didn't like the throw. So right now, we're running zone to the right, so we can get, and really it's 5-on-4. Okay, because we're not really worried about this outside backer, outside the box here, based on what we got out here with the number 1 screen.
So Travis, your 0 in your count here would be that right inside linebacker?
Right, yeah. And then also if their dude if their count, so you got 0, 1, 2 is out here, these two will communicate and give each other a heavy call. Knowing that they're probably not even gonna worry about this dude at all. And it just becomes 2-on-1. And even if he folds in late, then yes, they're gonna come off. But otherwise, it's just 2-on-1. And that's a pretty good play by that DN to the Waukesha West. I don't know if you guys in here haven't played them, but they get a lot of guys coming back. They're really freaking good. And if you want to talk outside zone, Steve Brooks, who's a friend of mine, is the head coach there. I've never seen a team in high school run outside zone better than them. They are legit running outside zone. So I don't know if Steve will give up anything, but I know that he's a because when we first got to MHP, he was the guy that I called to talk zone scheme, because he knows what he's doing. But the outside zone, man, they're really, their O-line is in unison. Outside zone is a lot tougher thing to coach, in my opinion.
We go another look here against 3-4 look. We got our 3 receivers again down the boundary, and there's no one up. So this is an easy read for the quarterback, just catch and throw, and we'll get what we can for yards. We got 2 guys there, and then we got another safety who's back deeper. Outside backer is still in the box. This is their, so this is their safety. They roll down, corner, and then there's another safety who's over here cheating. And the nice thing about this formation too is it gives you a lot of solo stuff on the backside. So, and again, inside guys block the most dangerous, and he felt that even though this outside backer is in the box, he felt that he was close, the fastest guy to get to the play, so he went go ahead and block him instead of one of those corner or safety.
That number 10 was our number 2 quarterback, kind of looked the part in this block. But he's a kid that caught a lot of footballs for us this year, and was coming off an ACL injury, but he was really good catching it and running after the catch. His blocking was not his forte.
Here we go, same look again. 3-4 look. Okay, you got corner, no one's rolled down now, they just widen their outside backer, so it's 3-on-2 with the safety playing off at 10 yards. Catch and throw, get what we can. Go same deal, we got to push the count. Actually, on this clip, our guard went up to second level. He should be working to this outside backer for whatever reason he did. But we end up, because of the base on the box, it's really 5-on-4 again. We go same, and this is actually just the very next play again. We ran it right again, the same play again. 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2. And again, based on our rules, they're gonna give us the easy throw, we'll take it. We don't worry about it, even if it was 4th down. If it's open, we're gonna throw it.
And after every year when we get done, we always go, why didn't we run more now screens? Because do we have an incompletion this year on it now?
No, I mean, and this is easily the highest percentage completion because you got a guy standing out there and it's just catch and throw. There's no running. It's basically standing still catching the ball.
What's your goal for your wide receiver out there? Is he taking any steps downfield and
Yep.
numbers? Or?
Yeah, we tell him to get right at the line of scrimmage, catching right at the line of scrimmage. So he's just taking 1 hard step upfield, sometimes 3, 1 with 2 quick ones. But we want to catch right at that line of scrimmage. Yeah, we like to push the envelope on the rules. All right, here we go. Here's the last RPO we got. So out of a 2x2 formation, again, similar to like 3x1. We got stuff going on both sides. So we got bubble to one side, arrow to the other. So again, here we'd be reading pre-snap. There's the bubble open, post-snap, then we're reading basically the end to the outside backer and what's going on in that scenario, what games they're playing. Same deal here, just gets and again, just an idea. The key drill. I mean, we do that twice a week, and I think it's the best thing that we do because if we're going to run RPOs, you can't just run them in with the full team. You got to have it packaged up where you're getting the perfect look you want, having the defense move the way you want, and just give you different looks so you can see it all in real time, and then we get multiple reps. So our number 1 receiver, our 2 receiver, our second O runs all these plays. And I think our 2-0 gets more reps than anybody else's 2-0. Because they're all doing the same thing every day. It's just one right after another. First team goes in second team. It's just non-stop. So all those skilled guys, they know everything. Same with the O-line, just being inside zone. They get a ton of reps of doing all the same stuff. So it's literally a plug and play. Anybody can play.
So you have 2 huddles and you kind of go and then come back and huddle and call? Or are they in their spots and
Yep.
you jump up to the line, jump back, jump out?
Yep. So like in this scenario, this is called doubles right for us. I just say, hey, doubles right or the zone right with the arrow and the bubble. And First group's up, second group, they're already lined up right behind them, then they go. And then after the two groups are done, then the next groups, or then we'll call a new formation, maybe it's trips, then everyone gets there and boom, it's go. And then obviously I'll move the outside backers or safeties.
Or you're the one that's shaping the defense, or do you
Yeah.
have another coach that's, he's got a script, like, we want to get this group guys?
Yeah, no, I'll do it from back here because it's easier for me just to go faster and just say, hey, Sam, move out, or safety drop down, come play outside, you know what I mean? It's just easier to move those guys rather than have to look at a card or anything. Allows us to get a lot of reps in a short period of time.
And the beauty of being no huddle, and we don't wristband anything, so it's all signals and our terminology. We try and limit the amount of terminology, and everything in practice is fast. We go a lot faster in practice because you don't have old guys wearing the stripes that are setting the ball at snail's pace. We got young guys that are coaches that the ball is set and we go. So, and we make everything tougher in practice. So, as far as defensively, we're going to give them looks that they might not see. We're going to bring probably more pressure than. And so on Friday nights, we want it easy and to go back to play without thinking. So.
Here we go. Bottom side, we got a bubble. Got a bubble here on the bottom side. And then an arrow to the top side of the screen. Again, here, and different looks that we got during this game. We had outside backer sometimes walked out. Sometimes, obviously, in this case, he's in the box. So right now, in safety, for whatever reason, he didn't want to throw the bubble right away. And I think this was the first drive of the game. We're running it down pretty good. So he just stuck with the run game. So right now, he decides not to throw the bubble. Now we're going to go ahead and run it, read the end, and outside backer based on what happens.
And you can tell our back is thinking backside, but the backside inside backer we don't get to, and he then sticks it front side. He's a little guy that's tough to see. If you get behind those double teams, you can go ahead and bust one here and there.
Okay, here we go, same deal again. This is the second half of this game. They actually walked out. The guy on the top screen is actually the outside backer walked all the way out there. You got corner, safety in the middle of the field here. Just running the inside zone again. So obviously pre-snap, we don't like bubble, we don't have leverage and numbers. And it becomes a post-snap read. Just read to the end. Right now we got the end coming up field. Outside backer is widening with the arrow route. And here again, another reason. And if you watch the center on this one, he's kind of like lost, doesn't know where to go because the inside backer is all the way out here. For whatever reason, he widened out. So, I mean, pieces move, and this nose also hasn't been playing the shade. Now he's all the way over in a 2-eye or a 1 technique. So our center should be stepping left and working all the way to 22.
He gets there, but it's not the path that we want to take. Now, he's athletic enough to be able to do that. We've had centers in the past, they take 2 steps in the wrong direction and we're screwed because they're not athletic enough to get back. But he did a nice job reacting once he realized where he was supposed to work. Okay.
Okay, here's the same deal. Now we get a pull throw. Okay? So again, we're reading to the end. Okay, first thing we're looking at bubble, we don't like it. So it goes the run game. The end crashes down. I think we ran this play 2 times in a row. This is why he's throwing it. So the end crash. Not necessarily he could have given it, but he didn't. So what happened is he's pulling it, and he's got the option to throw it. In this case, he has to throw it because the end's actually not playing the running back. So what he's looking at next would be the outside backer who's all the way out. Number 5 who's coming in. Then leaving 1 guy left. A little better looking at this snap. We go, same deal. Again, he's pulling it. He has the option to run it, but he doesn't have space to run it, so he pulls it and then throws it. Gives us a chance to catch the ball at the line of scrimmage. Still block the run, and then it allows us to get yards, extra yards. And our tight end is 1-on-1 with the corner. 9 yards. Yeah, so when we teach our tight ends, so if we're running an arrow route, He's gonna run normal arrow route to see it pre-snap. If he gets it pre-snap, he's gonna catch it, turn it up. If he doesn't get it pre-snap, then he's gonna go ahead and backpedal to the sideline, get about 3 yards from the sideline. So it's an easy catch for him. You want him to have a nice target. So, run. Here we go, same thing. Now we got the outside back blocked out, the bubble is not good. Here you get a good look at the ends playing running back, quarterback pulls it, and they got a scraper exchange on. So allows them to throw the ball. Ideally, we'd like to leave our outside receiver blocking corner on this, so it becomes a race for that safety to race down our tight end. Don't have any end zone clip of this, but it'd be nice to have press box like this every game.
So, if, I was telling you about Steve